Paul Dueck!
And a vision that is clear. Every word spoken. We're family and committed. Open every door. And show them what we offer.
You want me to turn it on? I'll turn it on. Is that better? All right. So, my presentation is called Understanding the Constipation Plan, or my tribute to Fibergy. So, my illustrious compatriot, Mr. Jay Lehman, he commented on my frosted tips. And you know, the 1987 comment, it kind of stings a little bit. But you know, I think, let's go back to the picture for a second. I think I kind of owned it a little bit, but I'm getting a little older, and I sponsored some millennials into my group, and I've changed my hair a little bit. As you can see, it's a little different now. No more frosted tips. And then I showed them the picture of that, and then the girl, she's a cutie, her name is Brittany, and I said, should I go back to the frosted tips? And she looks at the picture, she goes, no, I wouldn't do that if I were you. I says, okay. So the frosted tips are probably going to be gone. Might bring them back for special, maybe for Next Level You or something like that. So, but anyway, this is my tribute to Fibergy. Now, maybe you probably don't remember that this is how the Fibergy cans used to look. Who remembers the Fibergy tins? Great, a little easier to get to. I remember in 1995 when I got started in USANA, we had 3 products. We had the Essentials, Poly-C, and Fibergy. It was great. And so I had an office downtown, and we had shaker cups, but it wasn't really a shaker cup. It was more like a yogurt container, which was just like a lid on top of it, right? So nothing that's sealed. So I decided one day I would make a Fibergy, but instead of using water, I used ginger ale. Put the ginger ale in, put the Fibergy in. I said, this is going to be great. And I shook it up. And when I left my office about a year ago, when I got a new office, I think there were still Fibergy stains on the ceiling. So I definitely wouldn't do that. Now, I did get my hair done just before I got here, and I made sure that it was perfect, because if you don't have frosted tips, you got to do something right, yeah? So anyway, the topics that I've got for today are actually network marketing, compensation plans, why USANA's binary is better, leveraging the best compensation plan in network marketing history, questions and answers, and we may not have time for that, so call me later. I have an interesting life. I love my life. You got to be happy, you got to be joyful, but I got some really interesting things that happens to me. About 2 years ago, I'm on a flight somewhere in the U.S., and the flight attendant says, hi, my name is USANA, and I'm listening. Did she say her name was USANA? She said, you got to be kidding me. So she comes close, and I'm looking at her name tag. This lady's name is USANA. I'm so excited, and I'm wearing USANA. It's like, look at my shirt. You're so cool. Can I talk to you? Man, can you imagine? I followed up with her for a little while, but she just wasn't biting. She maybe thought it was just too weird. There's this billion-dollar company named after her. Anyway, I have had some great experiences in my life, and we had some speakers today. This couple here, the Mass, fantastic. Along with my dad, we went on a boat ride with USANA a little while ago. I love being able to travel with USANA. It's great. You got some amazing experiences. I took my dad on a cruise just over a year ago, USANA cruise. This is just after I got him ziplining in Aruba. He looked like a piece of meat in a meat locker flying down that line. It was great, but time freedom, financial freedom, I think this is one of the real reasons you get started in USANA now. Time freedom is a little bit of an interesting term. When I started, I was 23. No hot wife, no crazy kids or anything like that. So time freedom is a little easier to understand. But right now, with a beautiful family, time flexibility is kind of what it is. Because, you know, when your kid in the middle of the night, is crying and needs her diaper changed, and your wife says, you should go do it. You don't say, baby, I got time freedom. I don't do that. No, you do it, right? Okay? That's where you got the flexibility to say yes to your wife when she asks you to do something. So I got to do some amazing trips with my son. I went to Victoria, and he did some speed stacking. It's just some really good opportunities. Now, I also who's been to an Eric Worre event ever? I think he has done a lot of great things for the industry, and he asked me to do some production for him. So I brought all of this equipment from Canada to do this event here, and so I decided, because Eric needed me to do a bunch of events, and USANA gets me to do some events, that I would actually get some equipment to do these events. So I bought myself a new truck and trailer last year, pretty snazzy looking, and the problem is the truck, we had some issues. First trip, we got it in July of last year, brand new, took it to Orlando and back, no problems. Took it to Dallas, and on the way to Dallas, the engine light went on. So, and then we took it to convention, the engine light kept coming on. Brought it back, September 2nd, brought it into the shop. I'd only had it for like 6.5 weeks at that point. They had it for another 6.5 weeks fixing my truck. We picked it up November 2nd. Then November 3rd, Jonathan, who's on camera, everybody say, give Jonathan a hand. He's doing a great job on camera back there. Jonathan, Scott, and myself, we were driving about 2 hours outside of Winnipeg, and all of a sudden, Jonathan says, I'm in the back seat, Jonathan says, oh, we got no power. And I go, oh, this stupid truck. And then he says, I got no brakes. Oh, you got no brakes. That's a bit more of a problem. So he actually used the trailer brake to stop the truck. And then we get outside, and because there was white smoke, and I go, I opened the hood release, and I went to open the hood, and it was hot. And then there was these orange things coming out from the side. So here's a video of the last day of my truck. This is about where I was sitting and taking this video and going, that's different. Yeah. So maybe I get the slide in there twice. Anyway, so the truck is a bit of a fixer-upper. We need some new seats, as you can see there. And Scott and I, we were actually kind of co-owning the truck, and this is the last time we saw our truck. So the guy who sold me this truck, and you got to watch out for car salesmen. You know, you hear about these kind of slimy guys. This guy, like, he did a bait and switch when he bought it. Not the sharpest tool in the drawer, right? So a week and a half ago, I got an email from Rod, and the message said, hey, Paul, I hope you're enjoying your brand new Dodge truck. It's time for your 6-month service call. Now, he'd seen that video. I sent it to him. So, like, take me off the autoresponder list, right? So, sends me a message, you know, it's time for your service call. So I sent him a message back, and I said, hi, Rod, thanks for checking in. Yeah, I think I'm due for an oil change. And can you order me 3 new tires and 4 seats? And I think I'm going to need all my glass. It's probably going to need to get towed. Hey, good news, the engine light doesn't come on anymore, neither does any other light in the vehicle. So, he didn't find that very funny, but, it's just take me off the autoresponder. Why do we do this type of business? It's because of family, right? So, we still had a couple of these shows to do, and this is my beautiful wife and my 3 kids, Tristan, Caitlin, and Ethan. This is in the church, and there was a bit of a dip in the ground whereas I'm standing, because it kind of looks like my son's taller than me, but it's never going to happen. So anyway, my smoking hot wife, as I like to call her, she needed a new vehicle. So she says, well, we're not going to get another truck. We're going to get an SUV. So I bought this last Friday to do these shows, and there's my trailer. And we says, this is great. It's a Ford. It's not, and I told the salesman, it's not one of those found on road dead things. No, this is going to be good, right? So in keeping with the interesting life thing, Scott, wave Scott, Scott's driving this thing down from Canada, and in Iowa, I get a text message, 911. I'm going, oh, good Lord. So I call him and says, yeah, there was a burning smell in the cabin of the truck. And I'm going, oh, no, don't. And I says, where were you? We're at a gas station. Well, maybe pull it away. Or I think he pulled it away already. So pulls it away. And I'm going, darn it, we just don't have the best luck. This is why you stick with USANA, because you don't have this kind of stuff. So anyway, the trailer brake controller fried. So the reason why it took so long for us to set up is because these poor guys, they had to rent another vehicle and then drive a truck and this thing 18 hours straight to get here on time to set up for this fabulous show. So can you give my crew a round of applause? They did a really good job of setting up. So I'm going to give you these slides later because it's more fun to talk about my family than constipation. So here's another picture of my family. Again, I'm standing in a bit of a dip there. So the princess, she's graduating this year, and she's 17, and my man-child is going to be 16 next month. And sometimes, who has kids that are sometimes a little sassy? Get a little so sassy. Okay, so I figured out just a secret that I found out accidentally. So this is, in our family, we have shakes every morning, and these are the two tins that we have, the new soy shake and Fibergy. So the Fibergy has a little F on it, and the soy has a little S on it. Makes sense, right? Story checks out. So about a month and a half ago, I was noticing that I was going to the can a lot. And I couldn't figure it out, and then I noticed that the Fibergy was empty. So I went and I got another Fibergy, and I started putting it in, and I says, wait a minute, that's a little darker than the Fibergy. And then it dawned on me, I had switched the lids. So as opposed to doing a tablespoon of Fibergy and 2 scoops of soy, I was doing 2 scoops of Fibergy and a tablespoon of soy. And I'm going to confess, I had diarrhea for 2.5 weeks, and I couldn't figure out why. It just makes so much sense now. I'm sorry, guys, it's a true story. Sorry. Kill me. So, if my kids are getting sassy now in the morning, I said, get down for breakfast. And it says, coming, Dad, and they're not coming. I just switched the lids on them. They're pretty good. The other thing, if they're not sassy, if they're not feeling good, but maybe they have a little bit of cough in the morning, I also switch them, but I don't tell them until afterwards. Then they get to school and they're afraid to cough. All right. A little bit of network marketing compensation plans for a couple minutes. So, from a historical perspective, and this isn't necessarily critical, but there are 4 types of compensation plans, and companies today still use some of them. In my mind, having been in a couple of different ones, there are some other good plans out there, but USANA's plan is the best. So there's a stair-step breakaway, a unilevel compensation plan, a force matrix compensation plan, and then there's a variety of different types of binary compensation plans. So if people ask you what makes our binary plan better than others, here's a couple things. So, Jordan, I've got 90 minutes? 20 minutes, okay, just checking. USANA's binary is the best. Here's a couple things. We have a balanced volume system, 50-50 on each side. We pay 10% on the match volume per side or 20% of the smaller side. This kind of makes sense. The average 1/3, 2/3 binary, which a lot of other companies are using, they pay 5% on the 1/3 side or 10% in total. Now, if you don't understand some of this, you can ask me later. Just trust me, USANA is better. Some of them flush, et cetera, et cetera. USANA's plan, back to the Fibergy thing, USANA's plan caps the income per center to $1,000 before bonuses. Now, a single center binary is going to pay you more, but it still requires a lot more effort. So I'm going to show a comparison, but I'm not going to do that right now. So anyway, key difference number 2, business center options. We can start with 3 business centers, increasing our payout to 20%. Now, the average 1/3 binary with a single center still only pays 1%. So I've created a lot of spreadsheets with other binaries, and USANA is typically more than triple the payout, up to $300,000 a year in income. All right, so I'm going to skip ahead, and I'm going to do a comparison here. This is a new company called Elysian, and essentially how it works, if you want to make more money in a company like this, which is a new company, you'd have to have $2 million in annual sales before their compensation plan is better than USANA. All right. So let me tell, and again, making 6 figures in MLN, to do it in a company like this, you'd have to have almost $1.3 million in sales with 1 business center balanced, and with USANA, 3 business centers balanced, you can do it with just under half of that. Pretty cool. A couple of other things, why USANA's binary is the best. You can earn additional business centers. Who has additional business centers? Can I get a yeehaw? That is where the power of this plan is, for sure. these centers that you can earn are also put in depth to create teamwork, and other companies place their new centers above your current centers. Great for you, but no teamwork, all right? All right, can you make more than 20% in USANA's weekly pay plan? Policies and procedures would say probably. So that would be the technical answer. Sorry, Brian. Hey, Brian, how you doing? Corporate guys. I love them, corporate guys. All right. So I'm going to go over this very briefly. Startup options, USANA, 1 or 3 business centers, 10% or 20%. I'm going to give you a couple of terms. Sales volume point, SVP, CVP, commission volume points, COV, carryover volume, auto order volume, new volume. My timer's going crazy. I love you guys. New volume that is created. So if I say new volume, everybody understands what new volume is, right? New volume is what happens that week. Let me go back. New volume, volume that is created by new enrollments or one-time orders. Does that make sense? Okay. So what happens after you add time? At any time, your 2 legs will probably actually pay you 0% or 20% if you have 1 business center, okay? If you have 3 business centers, you're going to have 4 legs, and those 4 legs are at any given time going to give you 0, 20, or 40%. Just going to grab the other clicker here. All right. Now, important to note that this is based on new volume only, okay? So this is not based on auto order, this is new volume. So if you're looking to increase your business, who wants to increase their business? About half of you. Interesting crowd. Okay. This is based on new volume. So if you want to add somebody new to your business, that's what I'm talking about. If you're wanting to grow, this is how you can generate more income when you grow. So when you have 1 business center, here's what happens. Over time, you add some peeps. This is what goes. New. So if you're going to have 2,000 in carryover volume and 2,000 of auto order volume, you got 4,000 on the left. And if you have 1,000 in auto order on the right and 1,000, which is 1,000 total volume, your check this week is going to be 200 CVP. I'm going to go through some of this a little quicker because it's kind of detailed. But what happens is that you go too fast and you miss your slide. Okay. So much great information. Okay. Short answer is, if you're going to add a new person, when you have 1 business center, wait for it. Option A, you can put them on the left. If you put them on the left, how much is that going to increase your income? 0. So that's a 0% leg this week. Option B is you can put them on the right. So 1,000 sales volume points added into your business is going to increase your check by how much? 200 CVP. Now that's a 20% increase because now your check goes from 200 CVP to 400 CVP. So that's pretty cool. So if 1,000 SVP increases your income by 200 CVP, then this leg this week is a 20% leg. Now, with 3 business centers, at any given time, your 4 legs are going to give you either 0, 20, or 40. So at the beginning of the week, this is what your check is right now. Let me back up 1 second. How about 3 centers? Checks right now, based on this volume, you're looking at 1,000 CVP. Your number 1, 600 CVP. Your number 2, 200. Your number 3, 200. Now, if you add 1,000 SVP, 1,000 sales volume points, somebody comes in with a 1,000-point order. If you put it on your 2 left, what happens? Nothing. Doesn't increase your income at all. So don't do that. I've seen people do that. Don't do that. That increases your income by nothing, nada, 0. So don't do that. Now, here's option 2. Oh, we're starting to make some more money. You see that it highlights now. You've actually generated a check for 1,200. So that's a pretty good option. So after adding 1,000 points on your 2 right, increase the check by 200 points. That's a 20% increase. 20% is pretty good. How about option C? Putting it on the right of your 3. Taking a look at the numbers there, it actually increases your income as well by 20%. But wait, there's more. Did you know by adding 1,000 SVP on your 3 left, you actually increase your income by 400 total CVP? What? Mind-blowing. So after adding 1,000 points on 3 left, that increased your check by 400 points, or 40% of the money that was, or of the sales volume that was put in. This is fantastic. The technical term is booyah. Now, how about more centers? You can earn an additional business center, and you put that number 4 business center on the inside of your number 3, which was a what percent leg? 40% leg. And now, what happens is the left and the right of that become a 50% leg. It's really good. A couple of basic questions to ask if you're looking at a business or somebody's asking you about USANA. In closing, starter kit and renewal fee. How much? Some companies charge $500 for their starter kit. You don't get anything, you just get a kit. $150 renewal fee. Publicly traded, debt-free, startup or established. If this is a wellness company, the number of scientists and researchers on staff. Patents, pharmaceutical grade, glycemic index. These are important questions to ask. Money back guarantee. So the message is this. USANA has an incredible, lucrative, and fair compensation plan. Maximizing the plan will pay you very, very well. Work together with your team. Plan rank advancements with your team. A couple of other suggestions for success, not about compensation or constipation or anything of the sort. Give people more than they do. Give people more than they want. And give people more than they expect, and do it cheerfully. Become the most positive and enthusiastic person you know. Nailed it. Persistence, persistence, persistence. Commit yourself to constant improvements. Understand that happiness is not based on possessions, power, or prestige, but on relationships with people you love and respect. Can I get an amen for that one? Be bold and courageous, for when you look back on your life, you'll regret the things that you didn't do more than the ones you did. And last but not least, don't do anything that wouldn't make your mom proud. All right, guys, have a great rest of the afternoon.